you know that Queen Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, married her own brother? Or would you believe she was the lover of powerful Roman generals like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony? But how and what other things did she do? In this video, let's find out. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen, she was a survivor. Born into the ruthless Ptolemaic dynasty, she knew one thing: family meant nothing when it came to power. And that's why, when her father died, Cleopatra married her own younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. He was only 10 years old and she was 17. But this wasn't about love, it was about keeping the throne in the family. But here's the problem: he wanted her dead. Her little brother, influenced by corrupt advisors, plotted to remove her from power. Cleopatra was exiled and forced to flee her own kingdom. But instead of giving up, she made the boldest move of her life. She planned to get the attention of Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in Rome. But how do you get an emperor's attention? Simple. You make the greatest entrance of all time. She had herself smuggled into Caesar's palace inside a rolled-up carpet. When his guards unrolled it, there she was, dressed in silk, hair flowing, eyes locked onto his. Caesar never stood a chance. The result was he helped Cleopatra get rid of her brother and reclaim the throne. Ptolemy XIII was drowned in the Nile, and Cleopatra ruled Egypt with Caesar by her side. But she wasn't just after power. She had Caesar's child, and she named him Caesarion to secure her future. However, then, disaster struck. Caesar was assassinated in the Roman Senate. Cleopatra was in Rome at the time, expecting Caesar to declare their son as his heir. Instead, his will named his adopted son Octavian. Now she was no longer welcome. She rushed back to Egypt, knowing she needed another powerful Roman ally. And then she set her sights on Mark Antony. Cleopatra didn't just meet Mark Antony, she conquered him. She sailed to him in a golden ship, wearing the dress of a goddess, surrounded by music and perfumes. Antony, Rome's greatest general, fell for her instantly, and once again, Cleopatra was untouchable. She and Antony ruled Egypt together, had 3 children, and lived in absolute luxury. But Rome hated their relationship, especially Octavian, who saw Cleopatra as a threat to his power. So he declared war. In 31 BC, Antony and Cleopatra faced Octavian in the Battle of Actium. It was a disaster. Their forces were crushed, and Cleopatra was forced to flee back to Egypt. Antony, broken and humiliated, was tricked into believing Cleopatra was dead. In despair, he stabbed himself in the chest. But Cleopatra was very much alive, and when she saw her dying lover, she held him in her arms as he took his last breath. With Antony gone, Octavian closed in on her. She knew what was coming. She would be taken to Rome, paraded as a prisoner, and executed. She refused to let that happen. So she made one final decision. She let an asp, a venomous snake, bite her and died from its poison. But some say she drank a fast-acting poison instead. When Octavian's soldiers found her, she was lying on a golden couch, dressed in her finest robes with a serene expression, as if she had defeated death itself. This way, her story became a legend. Cleopatra's name has never been forgotten. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt, a queen who seduced the most powerful men in history, and a ruler who refused to be controlled. She married her brother to keep power. She seduced 2 of Rome's greatest generals to control an empire. She chose death over humiliation on her own terms. Here's a quick question. Was Cleopatra a brilliant queen who knew how to play the game, or was she just a master manipulator? And more importantly, if you were in her place, would you have done the same?